Let's head to the shoe for first half action. Here with the call is the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, along with former Ohio State All-American Jim Lachey and sideline reporter Marty Bannister.
And Todd Beckman, junior from St. Henry, rolling to the right side with the ball from the 24, throws on the run up the right, and it is caught by Dane Sensenbacher, 42, pushed out of bounds at his own 45 by corner Rico Murray. First down, Todd Beckman to Dane Sensenbacher. 3rd and 7 Buckeyes from their own 49, and Beckman to toss from the 40. Looks, guns across the middle of the field, caught by Hartline at the 45 of Kent State, gets to the 44. First down, I don't know. That spot's a little dicey now. They'll move the chains. As Stevan Moss, linebacker, makes the stop, but Hartline gets enough yardage after Moss and Burrell make contact with him. Tight end Jake Ballard motioning from left to right. Snap to Beckman, fakes the hand, screens it to Hartline right side. 45 of Kent State, gets to the 40, now wider to the right, to the 35, to the 30, to the 25, and take it down at the 20 as Brian Hartline off a screen. He's able to make a move before linebacker Derek Burrell and Jamison Kahns, the other outside linebacker, make the stop, and a first down secured on a screen. Hartline and Rubisky wide left, Sensenbacher wide right. Todd Beckman with a football, backpedals, sets it to 25 to throw, across the middle, fires complete at the 15-yard line, and that's with the ball carrier Dane Sensenbacher is taken down at Kent's 15 by middle linebacker Cedric Maxwell. Todd Beckman calls for the football, sets at the 21, throws, and it is caught at the 5, and then Hartline knifes to the end zone. As he came off the right flank, Brian Hartline got inside of safety Brian Lanehart, and the sophomore from Canton Glen Oak High School with his 4th touchdown catch of the year, and the Buckeyes score for the 4th straight game on the opening drive and take a 6-0 lead.
Rob Rose sacks Julian Edelman for a loss of 5 yards, and then Vernon Golston takes a turn for a 7-yard loss, and we move to the second quarter.
And he is averaging 38.2 on the season. Gets this punt off from his 37, hangs a nice high one that Hartline will make a catch at the 10 of Ohio State, moving backwards to a 6. Now turns it right side to the 10, 15, Hartline to the 20, 25, 30, 35, Hartline down the right sideline, middle of the field, 50, 40, 30, Brian Hartline behind another blocker, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Brian Hartline. Brian Hartline took it from the north end to the south, his 2nd score of the day.
After Edelman is tackled for a 3-yard loss, Kent State punts it away, but the ball only travels 15 yards.
And Todd Beckman with the ball, hands it off Chris Wells, reverse, and handling it is Hartline from left to right. 45 of Kent State to the 40, and Hartline will be wrapped up and thrown down at the Golden Flash's 38-yard line. Tyler Whaley, Chris Wells in the eye behind Todd Beckman, who takes the snap, drops at the 45, throws in the middle of the field. Rubisky got it at the 18, gets to the 15, and that's where he goes down inside the 15. Brian Rubisky came off the right flank. Safety Dan Hartman finally with a stop. Another first down. This one to Brian Rubisky.
Great timing route there by Todd Beckman to Brian Rubisky.
Todd Beckman under center with the Buckeyes up 2 touchdowns. Handoff Chris Wells left side, 15, 10. Fights his way to the 7, and that'll be the end of the trip for Chris Wells. Dan Hartman's safety and linebacker Stevan Moss with a stop. And Todd Beckman eyes the defense, squats under his center on 2nd and 3 to call for the ball. Hands it Wells coming right side. Gets it to the 5-yard line, pushes it to the 2 and into the end zone. Touchdown, Chris Wells lowered his head, shoved through the middle of the field. Dan Hartman, the safety, tried to halt his progress, but Chris Wells with his 6th rushing touchdown of the year, and Ohio State up 20-0.
Hey, Deontay Johnson better look out. Tank Wiley's doing the job at fullback. He cleared it out. Cedric Maxwell, number 54, knocked him out of the way, and then it was all Chris Wells. How about Chris Wells, though? Gets near the 1 or 2 yard line. He pushes big number 71, Steve Raring, down to the ground and into the end zone.
Flowers again, the single setback. Julian Edelman under center, 2 wide to the right. And Edelman looking to throw, right side, tosses, picked off. That one intercepted by Donald Washington. Left side, 50, 40, 30, 20-yard line, Donald Washington, 10-5, touchdown. Donald Washington with his first career interception. And it goes all the way the other way for 6. And Ohio State up 4 scores, 27-0.
Buckeyes gotten 2 big plays, one with a punt return, this one an interception return.
Anthony Magazoo, the quarterback, will hand it Jarvis, cutting back up the middle, and he'll go down at the 34. Football fumbled as Doug Worthington made first contact, and Ohio State with a football. Doug Worthington grabbed Jarvis, and coming away with a football for Ohio State is Sean Lane. Todd Beckman under center, motioned by the tight end Jake Ballard from left to right. Beckman back to toss. Fires to Ballard, right flat, got it, 28, 25, 20. And Ballard will be driven out of bounds around the 16-yard line. Sophomore tight end from Springboro High School, knocked out by Stevan Moss, linebacker. First down. Ballard motioning from right to left. Mo Wells is to the right of Todd Beckman, working out of the shotgun. Beckman the ball. Back to throw. Screen right side. Mo Wells. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Maurice Wells on a screen pass as he slipped up the right side and had clear sailing. Third touchdown of the year for Maurice Wells, but his first through the air. And it's 34-0 Ohio State.
At the half, the Bucks go to the locker room with a commanding 35-0 lead over the Golden Flashes. And looking at the halftime stats for both squads, dead even in first downs, Ohio State and Kent State, but we got some big differences after that. Kent State 113 rushing yards, and the Bucks are not going to be happy with that. 22 on the board. 184 through the air. They can live with that for a total of 206. 49 passing yards for Kent State, so the Buckeye defense getting it done in that regard. 162 total, probably more than they'd like to give up on that end. And the time of possession, you can tell, favors Kent State, but when you have a lot of quick strikes like the Bucks did, that's how it gets to be a 6-minute difference. But the Bucks big on the board. Up second half action. Early third quarter, Bucks at their own 42. Second and 18. Here once again is 1460 the Fans. Paul Keels.
And Rob Schoenhoff with the ball. Backpedals. Sets at the 35. Screen left side. Brandon Sane at his own 40. 45. Sane to the 50. 45 of Kent State. 40. Off more tacklers, and he gets to the 31. And that's where Brandon Sane will go down. Schoenhoff in the shotgun. Sane to his left. 3-receiver package on the field. Snap. It's a low one, but Schoenhoff with the ball. Sets at the 36. Screen left side. Sane. 30. 25. Gets to Kent State's 20. And he'll be dropped to the 19. Brandon Sane. Somebody came back to help with a block. Dan Hartman with a stop for Kent State. Andrew Moses, the center over the ball. Snaps to Schoenhoff. Back at the 21 to throw. Looks, throws right side. Sane catches at the 9. Bumps off one defender, but a second one drops him at the 9. Out on the right side, Stevan Moss. Rob Schoenhoff calls for the ball. He's got an option play right side. Keeps it, steps ahead, and gets to the end zone. Rob Schoenhoff. His first ever rushing touchdown on a 2-yard run on an option to the right. Kind of that same option play that Mo Hall scored in against Michigan in 2002. And Ohio State now with a 41-0 lead over Kent State.
Julian Edelman is put on his back again, this time by Brian Roll for a 6-yard loss.
Schoenhoff back to pass, sets at his 40-yard line, looking left, throws down the middle of the field, caught. And to Kent State's 40-yard line goes Marcus Williams. Andrew Moses over the ball, snaps to Schoenhoff, drops at the 45, screen left side to Von Torrance to the 45 of Kent State, 40, 35-yard line, fights his way to the 31. Everybody's set on the line of scrimmage. John Toma puts it down at the 39. Pretorius with a kick toward the uprights and ring it up. 49-yard field goal. Ryan Pretorius.
Early in the fourth quarter, Brandon Sane gains yardage on this 29-yard run. Ryan Pretorius then boots a 31-yard field goal, adding 3 more to the Bucks total. With less than 3 minutes left, Kent State gets on the board, avoiding the shutout. Ohio State, though, improves to 7-0 with a 48-3 victory over Kent State. Let's take a look at some of the final numbers and really some separation here. Ohio State 22 first downs, Kent State 15, 138 rush yards. Ohio State outgained on the ground by Kent State's 161 in that category. Just 62 through the air for the Golden Flashes, 263 through the arms of Buckeye quarterbacks for a total of 401 to 223, and the time of possession evens out there in the second half. Ohio State gaining control of the ball and keeping possession of it a lot more in the second half. Not as many quick strikes, but a big win as you look at the scoreboard. Some of the key players from Saturday's game. Brian Hartline, how can you miss him? 3 catches, 47 receiving yards, a pair of touchdowns, which of course included a 90-yard punt return, new school record. Brandon Sane at his running back position, 9 carries for 69 yards. He also caught 5 passes out of the backfield for another 76. His average per carry was 7.7, 145 all-purpose yards for Sane. Brian Roll, how about a new name in there on defense, huh? 7 total tackles, 5 of them solo, a sack, couple tackles for loss. Nice work by him. Donald Washington, how about the DB? Not only the 70-yard interception return for a touchdown, that was a sweet pick 6, but 3 total tackles, all 3 of them solo, and he also had a sack on his day.